Deep in the emerald heart of the rainforest, where sunlight struggles to touch the forest floor, a shadow moves. A whisper of wings cuts through the air, silent, powerful, absolute. The jungle stops for a heartbeat because the ruler of the canopy has arrived. This is the Harpy Eagle, nature's own mythical creature, the fearless sky hunter that commands respect from every living thing beneath its wings, with eyes sharper than any blade, claws that could crush a skull, and a presence that even the howler monkeys fear. This bird isn't just a predator. It's a legend sculpted by evolution itself. But how did this majestic creature rise to become the undisputed emperor of the treetops? What secrets does it guard high above the forest floor? And why do scientists call it one of the most powerful eagles to ever exist? Before we soar into this breathtaking mystery of strength, beauty, and survival, make sure to subscribe, like, and drop your thoughts in the comments below, because what you're about to discover will change the way you see the wild forever. In the dense labyrinth of the rainforest canopy, where sunlight breaks into 1,000 emerald shards, the Harpy Eagle spreads its wings, and the air itself seems to hold its breath. With a wingspan stretching nearly 7 feet, this majestic creature is not only one of the largest eagles on the planet, it is also one of the most powerful. But what truly sets the Harpy apart isn't its size, it's how it moves. This isn't a bird that relies on endless soaring like the golden eagles of the mountains or the fish-hunting sea eagles of the coast. No, the Harpy is a jungle specialist. It has mastered the art of flying through the forest, not above it. Imagine this trees rising 100 feet high, vines twisting like ropes in the air, branches crossing paths like barriers in a maze, and through this tangled chaos, the Harpy Eagle glides silently, folding and unfolding its massive wings with the precision of a dancer and the control of a fighter jet. Each motion is deliberate, measured, almost mathematical. Despite its size, it can turn sharply between tree trunks, banking at impossible angles to ambush prey. Its wings, broad and powerful, generate enormous lift in short bursts, perfect for quick acceleration, not long-distance flight. This is a creature engineered by nature for ambush, not pursuit. You can almost see it now, perched motionless on a high branch, its feathers blending with the gray bark, the forest below alive with chatter. A troop of capuchin monkeys scurries across branches, unaware that above them waits the silent storm. The Harpy's piercing eyes, larger and keener than any human's, lock onto movement. Every twitch, every rustle. Those eyes can see from hundreds of feet away, even through the mosaic of shadows and leaves. Then, in a heartbeat, the air shifts, it drops, not like a falling stone, but like a shadow descending. The wings open, silent as silk, and in less than 3 seconds, it's upon them. The monkeys scream, too late. The eagle's talons, thick as a man's fingers, close around its prey with the strength of a steel trap. A single squeeze, 500 pounds of crushing force, and the forest falls silent again. The Harpy rises, burdened by the weight of its catch, beating its wings with deep, powerful strokes that echo faintly through the trees. That flight, that strike, that moment, it's perfection. Every muscle, every feather, every breath of wind used exactly as it was meant to be. The Harpy doesn't chase, it doesn't waste, it waits, watches, calculates, and when it moves like destiny itself. Its power is deceptive. Many people imagine eagles as high, soaring hunters that dive from the sky. The Harpy is different. Its wings are shorter and rounder, designed for maneuvering, not speed. It sacrifices the open sky for the dense canopy, where it rules unchallenged. Even the monkeys, the clever, chattering acrobats of the forest, know to stay low when the jungle grows too quiet. They've learned that silence means danger. Scientists who've studied the Harpy say its flight is so controlled that it almost seems to think through every move. The muscles in its chest, enormous and corded with strength, allow it to hover for moments that defy physics. The feathers on its wings are thick and soft-edged, dampening sound as it moves, turning each flap into a whisper. Even its tail feathers act as steering rudders, helping it twist through the tight jungle corridors with breathtaking accuracy. But this grace is not born of beauty, it's born of necessity. The rainforest is no place for mistakes. One wrong movement and a branch could end a hunt. In this vertical world of vines, shadows, and motion, the Harpy Eagle is both predator and phantom. When early explorers caught their first glimpse of it, they believed they were looking at a mythical creature, half bird, half beast, a living relic of a lost age. And perhaps, in a way, they were right. Watching it fly through the canopy is like watching the earth remember its ancient strength. Its power is raw, primeval, untouched by human hands. In the jungles of the Amazon, in the forests of Panama, wherever it flies, it commands not just the skies, but the imagination. Its wings don't just carry it through the air, they carry the spirit of the wild itself. Each beat is a reminder that deep within the green heart of our planet, there still exists a force untamed, undiminished, and utterly magnificent. And so, when we look at the Harpy Eagle, we aren't just looking at a bird, we're witnessing a fragment of nature's perfection, a creature shaped by the chaos of the jungle, crafted for dominance, and born to rule the skies of the unseen world. In the shadows of the Amazon's cathedral of green, there lies a power so absolute that even the fiercest creatures of the forest know its presence. The Harpy Eagle's talons, monstrous, primal, and perfectly designed by evolution, are its crown and scepter. These are not mere claws, they are instruments of dominance. Measuring up to 5 inches long, thicker than a grizzly bear's claws, they are nature's purest expression of strength. Each talon curves like a scythe, black and gleaming, capable of gripping prey with a force few living beings can rival. Imagine that power, a single grasp strong enough to crush bones as easily as snapping twigs. When the harpy strikes, it doesn't attack out of desperation or chance. It knows in that fraction of a second before contact that its grip means certainty. The victim doesn't struggle for long. Resistance is useless against such force. Biologists who've measured that grip describe it as almost unbelievable, nearly 500 pounds of pressure per square inch. That's more than enough to break the spine of a full-grown monkey, to lift a sloth from its perch, or even to drag a small deer from the forest floor. It's a hunting kind of power, beautiful, brutal, and silent. The harpy doesn't roar or scream before it kills. It simply appears, a whisper of wind, a flash of shadow, and when it leaves the jungle, resumes its breathing as if nothing happened. But everything has changed. The balance of life and death in the forest shifts slightly with every one of its kills. Those talons are not random tools of destruction. They are the culmination of millions of years of precision evolution. The harpy eagle's prey lives high in the canopy. Sloths, monkeys, opossums, creatures built to cling, grasp, and escape. To catch them, the harpy needs talons not just powerful, but surgical. The rear claw, its largest and most deadly, acts like a dagger, driving deep to pierce the heart or lungs in an instant. The other claws anchor the prey, locking it in place. There is no second strike, no prolonged struggle. Efficiency is survival. When scientists first observed a harpy attack up close, they described it as an explosion of control. There's no wasted motion, no frenzy, just the sudden closing of wings, the thunder of contact, and then silence. The prey is lifted away into the air, sometimes weighing nearly as much as the eagle itself. To see that, a bird carrying an animal the size of a small child, rising through the trees without a sound, is to witness something that seems impossible. But perhaps the most extraordinary thing is not the strength itself, it's the gentleness that coexists with it. The same talons that can crush a monkey's spine are also used to cradle eggs, to protect hatchlings, to build nests with careful precision. When the harpy returns to its nest, carrying food for its chick, it lands softly, folding those lethal claws inward like a mother cupping her child's hand. There is tenderness within terror, the duality that defines every apex predator in nature. The harpy's talons are also its curse. Their sheer size and strength mean the bird must have powerful legs, thick muscles, and dense bones to support them. This makes it heavy, too heavy to soar for long periods like other eagles. Its power keeps it bound to the forest, confined to the treetops where ambush, not endurance, is key. But in that limitation, the harpy has found mastery. It doesn't need the open skies, it owns the shadows. There's something almost mythical about those claws, as if they were forged for a world that no longer exists. Ancient tribes in South America once believed the harpy was a messenger from the gods, and when they found its talons, they wore them as sacred charms. Even today, local hunters who stumble upon a harpy's footprint in the mud say it feels like finding the mark of a spirit. Because in a sense, that's what it is. A reminder of nature's untamed design. Every mark those talons leave behind tells a story of balance, of power, of the eternal truth that the wild does not forgive weakness. The harpy doesn't kill for pleasure. It kills because that is the rhythm of the forest, the pulse that keeps the ecosystem alive. The monkeys that fall become nourishment for new life. The eagle's chick grows, learns, and one day spreads its own wings, ready to grasp the world as its parent once did. So when you imagine those talons curved, cold, and deadly, don't think only of violence. Think of the equilibrium they maintain, the generations they've sustained, the jungle they've shaped. Because inside every strike, every silent hunt, lies the story of evolution itself. Fierce, unflinching, and magnificent, the sound of a heartbeat fades into the echo of wings, steady, powerful, ancient, carrying the legend onward through the emerald vault of the forest, the sound of distant rain pattering against leaves. The jungle hums, alive, electric. Then as the voice begins, everything slows. The camera zooming in on a pair of piercing eyes framed by a crown of feathers. There's something hauntingly regal about the Harpy Eagle. Something that makes it feel almost otherworldly. When you look into its face, you don't just see a bird, you see a crown, a fan of feathers rising like a halo, trembling slightly in the wind. But that crown is not a decoration. It's a living, breathing instrument of survival. Each plume plays a role, a part in the great design that allows this creature to rule its kingdom with silent authority. At first glance, those feathers seem like a symbol of royalty, of dominance, a jungle monarch displaying its crown. But to the harpy, they're tools of perception, weapons of awareness. The Harpy Eagle doesn't just see the world, it feels it. Its feathered crest rises and falls like the sensors of a machine, detecting vibrations, shifts in air pressure, and the faintest sounds that ripple through the canopy. Scientists believe these feathers work like an organic radar, amplifying subtle noises that the human ear could never catch. When the crest lifts, it's as if the eagle is tuning into another frequency, the heartbeat of the forest itself. Every rustle, every whisper of movement tells a story. The harpy hears a monkey scraping bark hundreds of feet away. It senses the slow, rhythmic creak of a sloth's climb or the flutter of wings from a startled parrot. The crown feathers help it pinpoint direction, distance, even intent, transforming the chaos of the jungle into a symphony it can read with terrifying precision. Now imagine the scene, the air thick with mist, branches dripping from the morning rain, the harpy perches motionless, eyes scanning the endless maze of green. It's not hunting yet, it's listening. The crown feathers shift slightly, adjusting to every sound, every vibration. Then, a faint scrape far below. The feathers twitch upward, the head tilts. In that instant, the jungle's countless noises collapse into focus. The harpy has locked on, but these feathers do more than guide a hunt. They tell the story of emotion, communication, and power. When the harpy feels threatened, its crest rises high and rigid, a warning to stay away. When it's calm, the feathers lie flat, sleek against its head. When it's alert, curious, or curious about something unseen, the crest flickers, alive, responsive, like eyebrows on a human face. These feathers express intent. They are both shield and language, a visual whisper to those who understand it. Evolution, in its infinite creativity, built these feathers to serve dual purposes, beauty and function intertwined. In the filtered light of the rainforest, they catch shadows and glimmers, breaking up the bird's silhouette. The harpy doesn't gleam like a hawk under the sun. Its plumage absorbs light, soft grays, muted blacks, ghostly whites, turning the eagle into a phantom of motionless perfection. The crown adds to this illusion, blending its outline into the broken texture of leaves and bark. When it's still, it's invisible. When it moves, it's already too late. Some say the harpy looks prehistoric, and they're right. Its crown feathers are reminiscent of ancient birds and even some dinosaurs, a glimpse of the evolutionary bridge between past and present. It's as if time itself stopped for this creature, preserving the power and mystery of the world before humans walked the earth. There's a raw majesty in that, a sense that when you watch a harpy eagle turn its crowned head toward you, you're not looking at a modern animal, you're staring into deep time. And yet, that same regal crown, that symbol of dominance, has another, gentler side. When a harpy tends to its chick, the feathers relax and spread loosely, forming a soft halo as it leans down to feed its young. It's a strange contradiction. The same feathers that rise in aggression also frame moments of tenderness. The jungle, after all, is a world of balance, beauty, and brutality intertwined. The harpy embodies both. When storm clouds gather and thunder rolls across the canopy, the harpy's feathers shift and lift. Sensing the change in pressure before the first drop falls, it closes its wings, adjusts its stance, and waits. The rain may flood the treetops, winds may bend the branches, but the harpy stands unshaken. That crown, now wet and slicked back, glints faintly in the dim light, not as a decoration, but as a badge of resilience. There's a moment just after the rain, when the forest steams and the light returns. The harpy shakes its feathers, lifts its crest, and calls, a deep, haunting cry that rolls through the dripping leaves. It's not a cry of hunger or warning. It's a declaration. I am here. I am still the king. And as that sound fades, the jungle seems to bow again in silence. Because in that crown of feathers lies everything the harpy eagle is: mystery, might, intelligence, and grace. It is not just a symbol of power, but of awareness. A crown not worn in pride, but in purpose. A living testament to how the wild does not just survive, it listens. The jungle exhales, a hush falls over the canopy. The sunlight fades into gold, then into deep green. The air trembles with a silence so pure it feels sacred. Somewhere unseen, a predator waits. There is no warning when it comes. No sound of wings slicing air. No cry to announce its descent. In the world of the harpy eagle, silence is not emptiness. It is a weapon. It's the stillness before the storm, the final breath before death finds its mark. The harpy eagle does not need to chase. It doesn't need to intimidate. It dominates through the quiet, a hunter sculpted by the rhythm of shadows and sound. Most raptors scream across the skies. They dive from hundreds of feet above, talons flashing, the air roaring around them. The harpy is different. It is the ghost of the jungle, a master of patience and precision. It waits among the trees, motionless, blending into the tangled world of branches. Its feathers, soft, edged, and dense, are designed to absorb the very sound of flight. Even when its massive wings unfold, the air bends around them without a whisper. When scientists recorded the harpy in motion, they were stunned by what they didn't hear. No rustle, no flap, no echo. Only the faint stir of leaves displaced by its passing. Its silence is absolute, and in that silence lies its strength. Picture this: a sloth moves along a branch, its fur damp from the morning mist. It doesn't rush, it never does. In its world, time is measured by the movement of clouds, not by seconds. It doesn't know it's being watched. From 30 meters above, two golden eyes narrow behind a curtain of leaves. The harpy tilts its head slightly, aligning its gaze, reading distance, calculating velocity. The forest hums with cicadas, 1,000 small voices masking the sound of everything else. Then, suddenly, all those voices stop. That silence, that vacuum of sound, is the jungle's warning. The sloth looks up too late. In a blur of gray and shadow, the harpy dives. Not from the heavens, but from just above, a burst of power unleashed in absolute quiet. The wings close, the body streamlines, and before the air can react, the talons strike. There is no scream, no struggle, only the dull crack of contact and the rustle of leaves that settle afterward. It's over in less than 2 seconds. The harpy's silent dive is not about speed, it's about inevitability. The prey never knows it's being hunted until the world ends. That's how it survives, through precision, not chaos. Its body, built heavier than most birds of prey, compensates for its weight with perfect aerodynamics. Each feather has evolved to break turbulence, to muffle vibration. Even the edges of its wings are serrated, like the teeth of a saw, to slice air in microcurrents that cancel sound. This is not flight, it's controlled invisibility. Silence, in the rainforest, is the most terrifying sound of all. It means something is watching. The harpy uses that truth like a weapon. It creates stillness around itself, forcing the jungle to hold its breath. Even monkeys, those loud tricksters of the canopy, fall quiet when they sense it near. They know that the absence of noise means the presence of death. And yet within that terrifying stillness there is beauty, an artistry that no other creature can match. To watch a harpy dive is to witness mastery, the merging of instinct, physics, and grace. It doesn't fall from the sky in chaos, it glides through it like a thought, precise, clean, inevitable. Its wings flex only when needed, every feather obeying an ancient choreography. This silence has another purpose too. It protects the forest balance. The harpy doesn't hunt for sport. Every kill is measured, necessary, part of an unspoken order that keeps the jungle alive. Its quiet approach means it doesn't disturb the nesting birds, the insects, the rhythm of life below. It moves through the world as a ghost among the living, taking only what it must. When you think of a predator, you imagine sound, roars, growls, the rush of attack. The harpy rewrites that image. It teaches that true power doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes the most fearsome thing in nature is the thing you never hear coming. As twilight falls, the harpy perches once more high above the forest. The rain begins again, tapping against its feathers. Its eyes reflect the dim light, cold and ancient. For hours it will sit there, patient, eternal, waiting for another movement, another heartbeat out of place. The jungle will sing again, unaware that the king is listening. And when the silence returns, that sudden, sacred quiet, every creature will know. The harpy is moving. The sky's most fearless hunter has taken flight once more. The camera pans slowly through the towering rainforest canopy. Shafts of light pierce through the mist, and somewhere in the distance, a haunting call echoes, deep, resonant, timeless. A nest rests high in an ancient tree, cradled by branches thick as walls. Within it, life begins again. In the wild kingdom of the Harpy Eagle, love is not fleeting, nor is loyalty a matter of chance. It is written into their blood, coded into the rhythm of their wings. Once a harpy finds its mate, it does not search again. For this creature of immense strength and quiet ferocity, there is only one partner, one bond that will last a lifetime. In a world where survival is everything, where every heartbeat is a fight, the harpy has chosen devotion as its most unbreakable instinct. Their romance is not loud or flamboyant. It's slow, deliberate, eternal. The kind of bond that defies the brutality of the jungle. When two harpies meet and accept each other, they build more than a partnership, they build an empire in the sky. Together, they select their kingdom, usually an ancient kapok tree or a towering ceiba, standing alone above the green sea of forest. That tree becomes their fortress, their home, and their legacy. The nest they build is colossal, sometimes spanning 6 feet across, layered with sticks, leaves, and vines. To the untrained eye, it might look chaotic, but to the harpy, every branch has meaning, every layer a purpose. They choose the sturdiest limbs high above the jungle floor, 100, sometimes 150 feet in the air, where no predator dares to climb. From that height, they can see their world, the endless canopy stretching to the horizon, the river winding like a silver serpent below. The construction takes months. The male brings the materials, thick sticks, pliant vines, green leaves, and the female shapes them into a perfect cradle. Day after day they work together, silent but in complete understanding. There are no calls, no displays of affection as humans would know them. The bond is expressed in labor, in the shared effort to build something that will outlast them both. Some nests are reused for decades, passed down through generations like a sacred inheritance. When the time comes to lay eggs, the forest itself seems to grow quieter. The female lays 1, rarely 2, gleaming white eggs, but only 1 chick will live. It's not a cruel choice, it's nature's calculation. The harpy's dedication to its young is absolute, but its energy is finite. Raising 1 eagle to adulthood requires immense effort, endless patience, and relentless vigilance. For nearly 10 months, the parents take turns guarding and feeding the chick. The male hunts tirelessly, bringing back monkeys, sloths, and opossums, each meal carefully torn and offered. The female rarely leaves the nest during the first months. Her wings, so fierce in flight, become a canopy of protection. She shades the chick from the sun, shields it from rain, and defends it from anything that dares to come near. When lightning storms tear through the forest, she lowers her body over her chick and waits, unmoving, unflinching, until the thunder fades. There is a kind of poetry in their parenting, strength and gentleness intertwined. The same talons that can crush bone now cradle fragile life. The same beak that tears flesh now offers it tenderly to the small down-covered creature beneath her. It is a contrast so profound. It feels almost human, yet far purer, untouched by selfishness. The chick grows slowly, clumsy at first, its feathers soft and gray. Months pass before it dares to stretch its wings. Before it takes that first uncertain leap into the open air, the parents watch from nearby branches, calling softly, their cries echoing through the canopy like an anthem of encouragement. The moment it flies, truly flies, the jungle seems to awaken in celebration, as if the forest itself understands that one more ruler has taken its place among the leaves. Even after the young one leaves the nest, the bond remains. The parents return often, maintaining their territory, watching over their domain. If their chick survives and claims a distant part of the jungle, the parents will continue to visit their old nest, repairing it, strengthening it, readying it for the next generation. Their love story, their legacy continues in that act, a silent ritual of devotion renewed with every season. For the Harpy Eagle, love is not fleeting passion, it is purpose. It is the instinct to build, to protect, to endure. In the chaos of the rainforest, where storms rage, predators stalk, and life hangs by a thread, they remain constant. And when the sun sets, when the great tree stands dark against the glowing sky, you can sometimes hear them call to each other, low, distant, resonant. Not the cry of hunters, but of soulmates. The forest answers with the hush of wind through the branches, as if bowing in reverence to the eternal pair. In that moment, the jungle does not feel wild or cruel. It feels alive, filled with a love as fierce and unwavering as the harpy itself. Because even here, in the heart of untamed nature, where only the strong survive, the greatest strength of all is the strength to stay. The forest wakes to the call of cicadas, to the whisper of rivers moving beneath the canopy. But somewhere high above, in the fading mist, the silence tells another story. The story of something rare, something slipping away. There was a time when the Harpy Eagle ruled unchallenged across the skies of Central and South America. From the rainforests of Mexico down to the endless green sprawl of Brazil, its shadow could be seen gliding between the treetops, a phantom of power and perfection. But those days are fading. The king of the jungle's sky, once feared and worshipped, is now fighting for survival. Its empire, built over millions of years, is crumbling, not through battle, but through disappearance. The harpy's dominion has always been tied to the forests. It does not soar across open plains or mountain peaks like other eagles. It belongs to the trees. The ancient, towering giants of the tropical world, it hunts within their shadows, nests within their crowns, and finds life within their shelter. Every leaf, every branch, every root plays a role in its survival. Take the forest away, and you take the harpy with it. And that's exactly what has happened. Over the past century, deforestation has cut deep into the heart of its world. Chainsaws have replaced thunder, and smoke now curls where mist once drifted. Massive stretches of jungle, once alive with the cries of monkeys and the calls of parrots, have fallen silent. The harpy, needing hundreds of square kilometers to thrive, finds itself stranded, its territory shrinking into fragments. The grand trees where it once built its massive nests are being felled one by one, and with them goes its future. For a bird that symbolizes strength, the tragedy is almost unbearable. The harpy can crush bones with its talons, can carry off prey twice its weight, can endure storms and heat, but it cannot fight bulldozers. Its silence, once its greatest weapon, has become its curse. It cannot cry out against the destruction of its home. It can only watch, wait, and vanish. Researchers tracking harpy populations have recorded alarming declines. In some areas, sightings that were once common have become mythical again. In parts of Central America, it's gone entirely, a ghost remembered only in stories and faded murals. Those who have seen one in the wild describe it as a moment that stops time, the vastness of its wings, the piercing gravity of its gaze, and yet that moment grows rarer every year. But hope, as fragile as it seems, still clings to the branches. Conservationists, biologists, and local tribes are fighting back, not with weapons but with understanding. Across Brazil, Ecuador, and Panama, sanctuaries and research programs are rising like green embers of resistance. They're protecting nesting sites, planting trees, and teaching the next generation to guard the forests that remain. In some remote regions, the harpy is returning. Slowly, cautiously, it rebuilds its reign. A pair might reclaim an old nest, repairing it twig by twig, a symbol of survival reborn. Every new chick that takes flight is a victory, not just for the species, but for the entire ecosystem that depends on its presence. Because when the harpy thrives, the forest thrives. It keeps the balance, controlling prey populations, spreading life through the intricate web of the jungle. Yet the challenge remains immense. The harpy's life cycle is slow. A pair produces only one chick every 2 or 3 years. If even one nest is lost to logging, it could mean the end of an entire bloodline. The jungle can regrow in decades, but for a harpy pair to reclaim it, that takes generations. There's something heartbreakingly poetic in that truth. The bird that once symbolized unstoppable strength now teeters at the mercy of human hands, and perhaps in its story lies a reflection of our own, a reminder that even the greatest forces of nature are vulnerable when the world forgets to listen. So when you look at a picture of the Harpy Eagle, when you see its fierce eyes and its crown of feathers, know that you're not just looking at a predator. You're looking at a survivor, a fragment of Earth's ancient majesty clinging to existence. You're looking at a reminder of what power truly is, not domination, but endurance. And maybe, just maybe, if we learn to protect what remains, if we let the forest breathe again, if we choose to listen to the silence instead of breaking it, then the harpy's shadow will once more glide across the treetops, unchallenged and eternal. The camera rises, following the harpy as it spreads its wings. Below, the jungle glows, green, infinite, alive. The call of the eagle echoes through the canopy, deep, resonant, defiant, a voice from the ancient world, reminding us that it's still here waiting for us to remember. The king of the jungle's sky still watches, but the question remains, for how long?